Is this thing working? Is this thing on? Hello? Hello? I've been trying to talk to you guys. And my good car mount is in the truck. And I don't even know if you can hear me, but we're going to the park to walk. I'm wearing my Chit Chat Paddywhack t-shirt. The reason I like to go to the park and walk is because I drink such copious amounts of water that should I have to use the bathroom, there is one at each halfway mark. In the rec building and then around the other side in the not rec building. So I thought I'd bring you guys along. Thanksgiving keeps coming up. I have my sister texting me and asking about Disneyland, and my mom's like having my other sister over. So I think I may just ask Steve if we can't just make reservations at Disneyland and eat down there. It's like, I don't know, Thanksgiving is kind of a funky holiday because it's all about family and everything, but my family's all, it's so funny because in my head and the way I was raised, we're all here, but we're really not. We're really pretty far apart. So let's go to the park and walk. You guys are my family. I invented my own family. Well, not invented, let's see. Created. I created my own family. I got the Paddywhack family. And while I cannot sit at your tables at Thanksgiving and join in some holiday cheer with you, this is just as good, right? Are you guys staying in your points? Are you planning on at least, you know, working the program till Thanksgiving? Don't let Thanksgiving throw you off, man. It's one day. Thanksgiving is one day. It's a glorious day of eating, but it's just one day, and you don't have to eat mounds and mounds and mounds of food. For those of you guys who are on Weight Watchers with me, think of it this way. Okay, think of how we eat now, right? We have a way that we eat. Think about, I want you to think about this for a minute. Think about if you were to sit down at your Thanksgiving table, wherever you may find yourself, at aunties or uncles or tias or tios or abuelos or anywhere that you may be, if you were to eat your Thanksgiving meal the way you used to eat before joining Weight Watchers, how would you feel physically? I mean, seriously, physically, how do you think you would feel? Do you think you would feel good? Because I know that I would not. I don't eat potatoes. I'm not a big potato eater. But I do eat them on Thanksgiving. Before the Weight Watchers. The WW. The what? The idea of potatoes sitting in my tummy right now sounds so heavy and so bleh. Think about that pie. Okay, if you eat your whole piece of pie with ice cream and whipped cream and all that, how are you going to feel afterwards? But if you have like a bite of this pie and a bite of that pie, how are you going to feel after that? Turkey, 0 points. You're good there. Green beans, 0 points. Don't use the full amount of butter. Just use a little bit. Just use enough so it's got the taste. You got the taste of the butter. Again, I lucked out there because I'm not a big butter fan. My husband is, though. But this is how I want to. If I was a person with any kind of intellect and wanted to give any kind of advice, if somebody said, Anita, you're a very important person. You need to tell the Paddywhackers how you think they should approach Thanksgiving. This is how I would ask you to approach it. Because I'll never tell anybody how to do anything. I will simply give some advice and my 2 cents. Because Lord knows I got enough sense to give. When you sit down at the Thanksgiving table, think about how you're going to feel after you eat physically. Think about how good you feel now. Feel how light you feel. Think about how light you feel. Think about how good you feel. Every day that we have learned how to eat properly and lighter and portion control. You can taste everything that's at the table. Absolutely. Have a taste of everything. Have 2 tastes of everything. But that's it. Portion control. Then you'll still have some energy. Go out for a walk, you know. Let Uncle Pete sit on the couch with his beer belly if he wants. If he's happy there, leave him there, you know. And find, if not one of the adults, find one of the teenagers. Find one of the kids who, no matter how much they eat, they still have so much energy they don't know what to do with, and say, hey, let's go for a walk. And they'll look at you and they'll go, what happened to her? What happened to him? They never used to go for walks. They would just eat and eat and eat and then sit on the couch with Uncle Pete. Not anymore. Because there's a new us, right? There's a new us and we feel better, we feel lighter. You eat all that food, you're not going to feel so swell. And then the rest of your day is going to be ruined, and then you're going to go home and go to sleep. And the next day you're going to go, oh, why did I do that? Maybe not even the next day, maybe even that day. Why did I do that? Why? When, if you take just bites of each thing, just enough to enjoy it, go, that was good, and still have your energy and your pep in your step, you're going to be so thrilled with yourself. I don't know where that came from, but hey, I have a channel, so I'm going to put it out there. Me and my sleeping bra are going to go walking now. Want to come? Let's go. Oh, well, that was a fine how do you do. I'm at the park walking, and all of a sudden the sprinklers went on. And I turned my phone on to show you guys, and then just as quick as they went on, they went off. I'm just talking of yakety yakety today. And I keep thinking about what I was talking about in the car. Not my pink bra. Not my chit chat paddywhack shirt. Not Ms. Fiona. But Thanksgiving. And all that food being in our bellies. For me, it's going back to my original plan of keeping it simple. We're so... Weight Watchers has so many great tips. YouTube has so many great tips. The world is full of tips and tricks, most of us who have been on this weight loss platform once or twice, or maybe just once, but for a decent amount of time, know, right? We pretty much know them all. We may have forgotten a couple. We may have a couple tucked back into the depths of our brains. And they're always good to hear and remember. But for me personally, I'm going to keep in mind, not that I even have anywhere to go on Thanksgiving. I might be at Marie Callender's. Hey, I might just go to the market and get a Marie Callender chicken pot pie. But not only on Thanksgiving, but at any meal, to me, the worst feeling, let's take a break over by this pretty tree. Because this, I mean, with utter and sincere seriousness. Can you guys see me? Let's try it here. There is no feeling I hate worse than being overfull. Steve and I would go out to dinner. Now, I always used to joke that I was the most piss poor fat person because I had no reason to show for it, because I cannot eat large quantities of food. And somebody's probably going, oh, Anita, who you think you're fooling? You think you got fat by what? It's an excellent question, my friends. Of that, we're not sure. Alcohol absolutely has a major play in it. On the big pie graph of life, alcohol would probably be the biggest piece of pie. But I cannot and never could eat large quantities of food. Now, could I eat a piece of cake, go in, sit down, let it digest, and go back for another piece, and then another, and then another? You betcha, sisters and brothers, Jimmy Solomon. But I cannot eat a large amount of food in one sitting, which is what most of us do at Thanksgiving. Oh, that was good. I'm going to go back and get more because there's so much food, right? There's always so much food. unless you come to one of my family's gatherings. And sometimes we've been known to run out early because, well, we don't plan properly. I'm going to keep walking and hopefully you guys can see and hear me. To me, the worst feeling in the world is being overfull. I mean, literally, like, have you ever been like sick? You have an ailment. Let's say you threw your back out and you say to yourself in your head, oh man, I'd rather be nauseous and throwing up right now. My back hurts. Or you're nauseous and throwing up and you're thinking, oh, I'd rather have a terrible headache. And we all go through all these ailments in our head and what we dislike the most. For me, it's being overfull. It's the most uncomfortable feeling in the world. Now, Thanksgiving, I think, is probably, what I'm trying to say is that probably more people than not feel that way on Thanksgiving. And I just want you guys to keep it simple and think about that feeling going into Thanksgiving, going to the table, going on vacation, be it for the day, be it for a couple days, you're going to see your kids, your folks. Remember all those great tips and tricks, but also remember what it feels like to be too full. And while you're remembering what it feels like to be too full, remember the amount of weight that you have lost. If you've just started and you've started with a pound is a pound, baby. If you've been doing it for a while and you're like me and you're at 40 pounds, 40 plus pounds, go pick up a couple of, okay. On your way, if you have lost a large amount of weight, such as myself, leave to where you're going for Thanksgiving early. Stop at the market, pick up a couple bags of dog food, and take some pride in that weight loss. If you've lost 5 pounds, stop and pick up 5 pounds of dog food. You guys, give yourself the credit you deserve. You've worked hard. We've all worked so hard. Woo, doggies! This is nothing. We've all worked so hard in our weight loss. Don't forget it, and don't put it to the wayside. A lot of folks like to say, oh, it's one day, just go for it, and then you can work it off. Absolutely you can. It's your weight loss, just like I said in a few videos back. It's yours. It's mine. It's our own in which to do with what we please. But keep some of those things in mind. I'm not going to go over the tips and tricks that you're going to hear in meetings or on other videos or in reading, because you don't need me to. But don't forget you. Don't forget you. This is about you, man. You know, one thing I hear that comes up a lot that I never have problems with because I'm just plain rude, not rude, but my weight loss means too much to me, is, oh, how's Nanny going to feel if I turn down, if she says, do you want an extra piece of pie? And I say no. Now, would it really hurt her feelings? If you were offering somebody a piece of pie and you've noticed that they've lost some weight and they said no, would your feelings be hurt? No. If that person loves you and cares about you, and if you're spending Thanksgiving with them, then I hope that they do love and care about you. And I would guess that they do. Nobody's going to mind if you don't eat their food in excess. Okay, that's all I'm going to say. I don't even know if you can hear me with this wind. There's a couple things I want you to think about. I just walked almost 5 miles, okay? Now, I enjoy walking, so that's a plus. But when I'm walking, I do a couple things. One thing I do is when I'm walking, I think about how I feel when I get on the scale and I have a loss. I think about how exciting that is and how happy it makes me, because it does. So I put myself into that frame of mind. The other thing I make sure I do is I listen to someone, something, be it somebody on YouTube, a podcast, music that is upbeat, uplifting, motivating, makes you feel good, makes your heart happy. That is super important, because when I am feeling that way, I find myself every time I come around to where I get to my car, I'm going to keep going because I enjoy listening to what I'm listening to. And not only am I enjoy listening to it, it's making me feel good. Why do I want to stop feeling good? I don't. So if I stop and get in my car and drive home, well, that's that. Always listen to somebody or something that makes your heart sing. It's so important. Think about your losses. Think about your struggles. Think about them in a positive way. Though positivity to me is like the key to this whole thing. Anything negative that comes your way as far as your weight loss is no bueno. If you're watching, listening, hanging out with somebody that's got a negative connotation or a negative vibe, a negative anything, step away. Turn it off, turn it down, switch the station. God, push it away, because it's not going to do you any good. Don't do it. Another thing I do, the twins. Let's talk about the twins for a second. I talk about them a lot. The twins are at the Skinny on Weight here on YouTube. If you're not familiar with them, which I would find hard to believe if you're not, go check them out. If I am caught up on my YouTubers for weight loss and there's nobody for me to listen to, I re-listen to the twins, because you know why? They, on all 562, I think they have 137 videos, I'm not sure. They're positive in each and every one. Like everybody else who is a positive person, there's a little something in everything where maybe, you know, Kim was having a down day, Kelly was having a down day. But for the most part, they keep me pumped, man. And one of the reasons they keep me pumped is because I started listening to them on the beginning of my weight loss. And as my weight was going down, I was listening to the twins. So that was a good time in my head. So when I'm hearing the twins in my ears, that brings on good feelings. Does it make sense to you guys? So why it may not be the twins for you, maybe it's somebody else. If there's nobody you have to listen right now, while you're walking, while you're on your elliptical, while you're at the gym, listen to some old videos that you've already listened to, if they're good ones and they're positive ones and they make you feel good. I believe that's so much of the equation to this. For me personally, it is. I feel good, so why do I want to stop? Right? All right, I am going to cruise on home now, because I just looked into the sun and frankly, I can't see a thing, Scarlett. We'll see you in a bit.